the word is out. I'm signing up for one of the toughest desert races on the planet, the Baja 1000. In one long push, riders tackle 1000 miles of deep sand, huge whoops, rocky rivers and of course, the notorious silt pads. It can take up to 48 hours to complete the race, riding through extreme heat, severe cold and day and night. And did I mention the booby traps? The logical bike choice for a race like this is a 450cc purpose-built desert machine. But what I'm using is my own trusty Dualsport, a 2025 Suzuki DR-Z4S. The dates for 2027 haven't been announced yet, but in the most optimistic scenario, I have 531 days to get ready. So, let's get to work. In the next 17 months I need to become super fit, which I'm not, and highly skilled on the bike, which I'm also not. That's why I'm starting a rigorous training program created by the Special Forces, as well as an intense riding schedule that involves motocross, long distance trips, enduro races and night rides. But before we dive into the training schedules, let's talk about the biggest challenge, the mental battle. I've only just announced this project and already I'm going back and forth inside my head. Can this actually be done? Or am I in way over my head? In the past few weeks I've gotten lots of comments saying that my plan is batshit crazy. Posting online, some backlash is to be expected, but these messages weren't your usual online hate. Most of them actually were sincere and well-meant words of caution coming from experienced desert racers. People who live this life and have a record to prove it. The two main points of criticism are the relatively short time frame of 18 months and the bike I want to use. This is a Dualsport, not a purpose-built desert machine. It's not the power that's being questioned, it's the weight. Even for pro racers on light enduro bikes, the Baja 1000 is super tough, and having to fight the extra 30 kilos of the DR-Z will add a lot of strain. Honestly, the comments have created a lot of doubt. I mean, this plan is ill-considered and I don't know what I'm up against. Everything I know comes from films and videos, so when experienced racers tell me that this is a batshit crazy idea, I have to take it seriously. And I do, honestly I do. But some things you just have to experience for yourself. I still have about 7 to 8 months before registration, and if I don't feel remotely ready by then, maybe I'll reconsider, but until then, I'm going hard at it. And this is how I'm going to do it. For the physical preparation, I've partnered with Unbreakable Academy, a company that specializes in resilience training and is led by the best trained team leader of the Dutch Special Forces, Sander Aerts.
You don't rise to the level of expectations, you fall to the level of training.
The Special Forces say that when your mind tells you you're done, you're only at 40% of your true capability. Unbreakable will help me tap into that other 60%. But before I can work on my resilience, I need to become what the Special Forces call basic fit. Of course, what these dudes call basic isn't all that basic. Oh man, it's a fucking brutal pace. Unless doing 40 burpees for 20 kilos on your back is your standard routine. So this is my €400 camera backpack. And this is a 10 kilo bag of sand. And for the next 12 weeks, I'll be carrying this around with increasing weight for increasing duration and doing harder and harder exercises. Now, the backpack training, as it is called, is designed by Sander to prepare army recruits for the Special Forces training program, so needless to say, it's going to get super tough. But lucky for me, at least it started out pretty mellow. Alright, so I just started Strava. We have to do like 2K in 20 minutes. I have 10 kilos on my back and we are starting out with a little climb. This is week 1, session 3. The goal is to do 2.5k in 25 minutes with 10 kilos on the back. This is like week 2, session 1. And just like last time, it's 2.5k in 25 minutes with 10 kilos in the back. I think I'm like halfway in and I'm sort of like on time, but I'm struggling a little. And that's just because I was really late off work. It's 10:30 at night right now. I definitely had to like push myself to get out there. And I think that is one of the things that is definitely going to be a bit of a thing for me, just to have the discipline to do what I need to do at the time that I plan to do it. It's not that I'm lazy, you know, I'm a pretty hard worker, but I do have like a problem with like structure and planning and organization and things like that. So I got home and then I got obsessed like with mounting this light on my helmet because I have like a night ride tomorrow. It's super bright. And this is just like the basic setting. It can go way brighter than this. And I got really caught up in it. And I figured, no, come on. You really need to go out and make sure you do this training, because the training in this whole project has to be number one, you know. So I'm also not wearing a mic. I just quickly grab my phone and thought I'll go out, just shoot on the phone. You know, sometimes I'm just gonna have to quickly go. Don't go for like perfection or anything. Just do what I need to do when I need to do it. Oh, hear that? Old man joints. The marches are combined with exercises. Now, I'll be honest, I've never been a huge fitness or workout kind of guy. I like to do sports, but I usually just go out and do stuff, you know. I've never been one to just like exercise. But I need to become stronger, and for the first time ever, I'm also kind of enjoying it. Probably because it's still pretty doable, but it will get harder quickly, just like the marches. Alright, so this is week 2, session 3, and we actually got a pretty intense one today because we need to do 3 kilometers in 25 minutes. It's also like 28 degrees or something outside still, so it's pretty warm, but I think we are kind of like on track. Alright, so I'm actually 100 meters behind on schedule. I was at 1.4 kilometers at 12.5 minutes, so I really need to up the pace and get going. So alright, so I actually did not make it, which kind of sucks. This is the first time I didn't make it. I was 21 seconds over time. I'm gonna retry tomorrow directly because I don't want to like get too far behind on schedule. So I'm just gonna do it again tomorrow and push as hard as I can and hopefully make it in one go. Now, I really want this project to be more than just a viewing experience. So together with Unbreakable Academy, I've created an English version of the backpack training for you to follow along. So if you have a big trip or a race of your own you are preparing for, or if you just want to become a stronger and more resilient adventurer and rider, then this training will help you do so. It costs €17.5 and half of that will go directly into funding the Baja 1000. So if you're interested, you will find the link in the description below. While we're on the topic of funding, racing the Baja 1000 is crazy expensive. Just the 2 weeks around the race itself are budgeted at €32,500. So if you add to that the cost of training, spare parts, bike prep, you're looking at €50,000 to €60,000 easily. So buying the training is a great way of supporting this project. But if the training is not for you and you still want to help me get to the start line, don't worry, you can also just drop a like and a comment and that will help a lot too. Thank you so much for your support and let's move on with the training. Now let's talk about bike training. The Baja 1000 is not only incredibly long, but it also runs through an unforgiving desert. Those conditions are hard to find here in the Netherlands, so I'm using the next best thing, motocross tracks. I've had some recommendations for the shittiest tracks from a Dutch desert racer, which according to him are the best preparation for Baja here in the Netherlands. He did add that nothing in Europe compares to the Baja desert, and even said that Portugal, which is considered to have the best off-roading over here, is a walk in the park compared to what Mexico has to offer. I'm a big believer of making do with what you got though, so from now on, Wednesday is track day. Alright guys, so this is the first proper motocross training of my entire training. So this is like week 1, day 1. The goal is to ride 3 15-minute motos with 10-minute rests in between, and then work my way up to 3 or 4 40-minute motos within 12 to 16 weeks, depending on how everything goes. So pretty steep progression, but time is of the essence, I think. So let's go. I'm gonna do like 3 warm-up laps. There's no ruts whatsoever yet. I guess I'm part of the crew that makes them today. Definitely clearing that. Alright, so first impression is that I definitely have to get used to there not being any ruts or berms I can lean into. But other than that, it's going pretty shit. But it will get better. Alright, so I have to do a 15-minute moto
So that's 15 minutes, like continuous laps. That's it. Yeah, let's clear a little jump. Yes. Push it to the inside and release it. Like release it in the berm. That's probably the right way to do it. Alright, that's the first moto done. I made it like 5 minutes longer to compensate for the spill. Okay, so 1:07, 1:17. So it's basically just drinks. Hydrate. Oh.
Alright, so the first moto is just done. It didn't went too well actually. I'm too busy with like trying to go fast instead of like focusing on technique. So for the second moto, I'm just gonna try to dial in the technique and not worry about speed too much, and then try to like speed it up in the third moto.
Ooh, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Don't focus on being fast, focus on being smooth. Missed the berm there. Have to be a bit more aggressive in this corner. Push it in, push it in, push it in. Keep this line. Yep. That's quite nice. Whoa, almost cleared it. I don't have the balls to send this one yet. I think it's not even that difficult, but this is just a matter of thrust. Trying to like blip less through the turn and keep the throttle steady. Gotta try some different things to see what works, you know. Just plow it in. Keep it standing. Sit down. Shift the weight forward. Yes. Warm hè? Zo, niet normaal joh. Whoa, whoa. Don't jump too far to the inside, that's clear. Let's see if we can take the inside. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
Alright, so I had a pretty good day. The plan was to do like 3 15-minute motos, and I did like 5. Yeah, 5. One of which was like 20 minutes, so I did more than I should have done. And like after 3 motos, I thought like, this is gonna be so easy, you know, I'm gonna just ride the whole day. And then like after the 5th moto, just suddenly it was like, in Dutch we say like the man with the hammer just came by, and I was and I had some time. I needed like half an hour to recover. It just was sitting in the van, ate like a complete bowl of pasta just to have a bit of energy back again. So I feel like this is where my limit is right now. I can do 5 15-minute motos, but then I'm done. So it's good to have like a kind of like a base. So there's gonna be a race later this evening, I think from the youth, but those young guys are super fast. So I'm gonna watch for a bit and see if I can, you know, pick anything up, learn it a little, and then yeah, just chill, get some gas, clean the bike, and go back at it tomorrow.
Ooh, nice. So Wednesday will typically be my track days. Sometimes it will differ a little, but Mondays will be my trail days. So for the trail rides, I've also made like a 12-week plan. So in week 1 to 4, I have to do like 3 to 4 hour rides, and then in week 5 to 8, 5 to 6 hour rides, and in week 8 to 12 or 9 to 12, I have to do 7 to 8 hour rides, just to kind of like condition myself to long days on the bike. So the goal with these rides is just to like practice like eating on the bike, drinking on the bike, even like try to get active rest in and things like that. And the reason I'm like building it up to 8 to 9 hour days pretty rapidly is just to see like so that in 6 months time I will have like a very good idea of like, okay, this is kind of what I'm getting into, at least in terms of like duration and fatigue and things like that. Of course, this terrain is super different than Baja, and it's, you know, not comparable in any way, but I was speaking with someone online and he said, you know, in the end, enduro, motocross, trail riding, it all helps because it all teaches you skills, it all teaches you bike control, so, you know.
Building stamina and endurance on the bike is one thing, but if I want to finish, I'll need to be comfortable racing as well. Riding shoulder to shoulder, being overtaken at high speeds, and just generally like staying level-headed in high adrenaline situations. So to practice that, I've already planned 4 races this summer. The first one unfortunately got cancelled, but the next one is in 16 days. It's a 2-hour cross-country race which combines motocross tracks with single trails and obstacles, and it has a Le Mans start, which means we'll run towards a bike, quickly hop on and then ride en masse into the first turn. A buddy of mine has done a few of these, and as you can see it gets pretty hectic, so I'm definitely a little nervous about it, but at the same time this is exactly the type of riding I need to get comfortable with. Another thing I have to get comfortable with is riding at night, and that I've actually already practiced. It was super cool.
Oh yeah, boy.
Also difficult at times. And it showed me how much of a problem the dust can be.
Oh, I don't see shit.
I'll tell you all about it in the next episode, but first I need to settle some unfinished business. Alright, so we are redoing the last training where I didn't make it. I really need to push. It's 3K in 25 minutes, 10 kilos on the back, and I am like telling myself I'm going to make it this time. I was 21 seconds out of time last time, so I do have quite a bit of time to make up, but it's gonna work today. 100%, we're gonna fucking do it. Oh man, it's a fucking brutal pace, but I'm at 8 minutes, about at the 1 minute mark, so at the 1 kilometer mark. So if I can keep this up, I'll make it, but whew, man, this is hardcore. Alright, so I was 10 seconds ahead on the 1.5k mark, so the halfway mark. Oh man, my upper legs are burning like crazy. I'm on 2.6k with 4 minutes to go, so I'm doing about 100 meters a minute. So it's going to be super tight, but I think if I keep pushing like this, I'll probably just make it. Alright, so I made it, and I didn't just make it. I had like 40 seconds to spare, which I did not expect. So that was pretty cool. And what's also pretty cool to me personally is that I'm not huge into like mindfulness and that kind of stuff, but I've been exploring it a little, and it does seem like if you like put your mind in like in a state like where you just say like, okay, I'm going to fix this, it does become a lot easier to fix it. Maybe it's just because you're locked in or focused, I don't know what it is, but I think I'm just gonna approach the whole project that way, you know. I mean, I know this is like a really like bit of a insane project with a very big goal, and there's been a lot of doubt, but I'm just going to tell myself that yes, it can be done, and yes, I can do it. I know Travis Pastrana almost finished on a DR-Z4S. Now, I'm not going to compare myself with him because he's like one of the baddest animals on the bike on this entire planet. But yeah, I'm just going to tell myself, yes, I can do this, and we're going to do this. And I think that will help us make it come true.